Yo, we're finally live.
What about? Is that better? Is that no echo?
Are we? Oh, there we go.
Yeah, we're finally live. Yo, how are you guys doing? I know we were talking a little bit before the podcast about random things, but I'm just curious to see how you guys been.
I'm jealous of this random flaming dragon background that Beast Gamer's got.
I could send it to you if you want.
Shit is lit. Pretty dope.
It's my favorite game, Ultra Beast.
All right,
love it.
Beast is a good game.
It's
fun game.
Have you watched Uncle from Another World yet? He talks a little bit about Altered Beast because he's like an OG Sega fan. It's an anime that's on Netflix right now.
Nah, I gotta check that out now.
It's actually really. If you like isekais that make fun of isekais, because it's like a reverse isekai, like they're back in the real world. It's pretty entertaining.
Okay, all right. Go
Isn't that the perverted one?
No,
that's bastard.
That's like
bastard.
Yeah, it's a bunch of.
Okay.
That's probably Harem from Another World, which also just ended this week.
No, I'm pretty sure I'm thinking of Uncle.
Uncle's not that sketch, bro. Uncle's actually. I don't even think there's like Ichi level quality stuff in it. It's pretty tame. It's supposed to be a gag manga, so it's not really.
Okay.
It's not really all that,
I mean, it could be gag with titties. Who knows?
Wow.
It could be, but it's not.
I'm not gonna touch that one.
So yeah, Matt, did we have a question of the week? I can't remember if you figured out one or not.
Smooth transition, August.
Whoa, okay.
Good segue.
I'm doing pretty good anyway. How are you, Backlog?
Speaking of gagging, what horror?
Whoa!
Oh whoa!
Hey yo!
What?
That was not a Sage Jam level segue.
No, it definitely wasn't.
No,
Seijan would be ashamed. He is rolling in his grave.
I'm Jam Sage. All
right. So yeah.
So anyway, yo guys. So the first question of the week here is: what horror movie or game or games do you want to see brought back or rebooted? So when they say horror game, this is horror games. I should say specifically. So just we're getting into the Halloween season. We want to kind of bring out more spooky discussions, whatever that may be. I'm curious to see what you guys have to say here. One.
Who wants to go first?
Yo, Beast, since you're our guest here, if you don't mind, sir, and if you have something, would you like to go first?
Sure. Fine, I'll go first. I have actually two in mind, video game wise. One being Splatterhouse. Now, I know there was a reboot.
Shit. Yeah.
Now I know there was a reboot on the PS3, but it didn't do well at all. It was glitchy as all hell. But if we got the right studio to work on Splatterhouse and make it as gory and gruesome as possible, especially making you the badass that he is, I would be all for it. I would be definitely all for it. And the second one would be, I'm trying to remember. I was talking about it a week ago. You playing as a guy that's in a prison that's haunted. He's like an inmate.
Is it Outlast?
Oh no, it's not Outlast.
Was it a PS2 game?
It was on Xbox and PS2, but it was kind of like Splatterhouse, but you was a murderer.
Yep.
And then it was doing some janky experiments in a prison, and things go off.
What you're talking about?
It's gonna.
What was that? Damn it! I can't remember.
The Suffering.
Yeah. It was literally. I'm not even kidding. It was like the fourth. It was like the first thing that popped up was The Suffering.
Yeah, The Suffering. It was definitely like Splatterhouse because you can morph into this grotesque thing, and once you get your rage meter up.
Yeah.
But it was like a flip script because you're not a good guy at all. You was a bad guy in a prison where they was doing janky Silent Hills type experiments and stuff like that.
Yep. Yeah.
I miss those games that let you play as the villain, like Prototype or like Infamous playing as Evil Cole. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's not really a thing anymore.
Yo.
But that's not true.
Yo, thank you for timing that guy out. But yeah, absolutely.
Yes, log. All kids love log.
All right, I forgot to mute the letterbox of all things to talk about, but yeah. Yeah, man, that's actually a really good example. I was thinking of I actually did quite a bit think the new Splatterhouse or the newer one for the PS3 360 era. I thought that one was actually pretty neat. Splatterhouse in
Apparently. Sorry, go ahead.
No, Splatterhouse in general is, I think, is actually a really cool IP.
Yeah. But yeah, I still have the PS3 copy of it, and yeah, there was a lot of glitches and stuff. Like, it wasn't finished, pretty much.
Yeah.
But it had potential to be a great game, but they just dropped the ball for whatever reason and just didn't sell well at all. So I guess I forgot who was the company that worked on it, though. I want to say Namco, but I could be wrong.
I know. I think that they had worked on the original.
Yeah.
And then, well, it seemed like Splatterhouse is it's a 2010 game. Wow. Okay. So developers was Bottle Rocket.
Ah.
So I think I remember them. Oh, they made Rise of Kasai.
Oh, yes, I still have that.
In Shaolin Showdown on the PS2.
Oh.
Shaolin Showdown.
Oh, good old Shaolin Showdown on the PS2.
Gongi Tenpai!
That show was lit.
I loved Shaolin Showdown, and then it came back and it was horrible.
It was weird. That's like when they came back with Biker Mice from Mars and it was this awkward artwork and everything. It was just like, what the hell happened?
I never knew it came back. I only watched it.
Man, Biker Mice from Mars.
I just would say kick it up a notch by saying, what company would y'all want the game to be rebooted by?
Splatterhouse?
Yeah.
Like any of your games, because I know it's like for my games, I would say I don't even know to think about. Like, I guess I would say
I have to look up who did another game really quick.
I would say Platinum.
Platinum would be good because it was Bayonetta and stuff like that. They do know how to give that nice gore and action packedness of it.
But if
I'd go with Platinum also because they did Mad World. And I think Splatterhouse in like a Mad World style would be fucking fantastic.
I'm actually leaning towards Capcom.
Capcom?
Because if they get the Resident Evil people to team up with the Devil May Cry people, I think it would be dope because the Resident Evil goriness and disgustingness that they can produce and the action-packed engine that they have with Devil May Cry would combine to one to be great for Splatterhouse.
Yeah.
Because I want that spooky, scary monsters while I'm fighting as well. So,
Spooky scary monster. Yeah, I mean that could be an interesting thing. I'm a big fan of Platinum, and I think that they could do like really well with like the gore and an interesting combat system. Of course, it'd probably have like a slow motion dash or but who knows?
Like slow motion,
yeah, like Witch Time or whatever.
Well, have you guys played Mad World?
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's how they would do kind of like a Splatterhouse is similar to the way they did Mad World.
Wasn't that Sega?
It was Sega and it was I believe it was Sega and Platinum working together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Platinum were like the actual makers. I think Sega published.
Yeah, Sega was the publisher. Yeah, my bad. Yeah. Nah, but you're right. Mad World is a good example. That was a great game, but they should definitely bring that back too. Just saying.
Be sick.
Let's see. Yeah,
controversy and all.
I mean, we could eventually get it on the Switch. I mean, they're doing.
We could, but it wasn't super popular. It didn't really get like a lot of traction.
Yeah, sadly. All right, who's next?
I'll go next.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Quick. Go ahead.
It doesn't matter.
He was like me.
Who were you gonna call on?
I was gonna say somebody else. It doesn't matter. You can go first.
Well, so I have two.
Mm-hmm.
First one is it already seems like it's kind of happening, but Fatal Frame. We haven't gotten an actual like new Fatal Frame.
Well,
for years. We're getting some of these remasters, which gives me hope for like another game coming, but we don't have any information on a possible actual new game rather than just remakes from like the Wii era.
Yeah.
Because I think that was the last Fatal Frame we got was literally on the Wii.
Not gonna lie, I'm a big chicken when it comes to horror games, especially horror games like that. So,
that's one of the ones where you have to face your fear too. It's like, oh no, now I gotta take a picture of this.
I'm good. I can't get behind a concept where I'm taking a picture and that captures a ghost. But yeah, just like that and that other game, Rain or whatever it was called, it was. Ugh.
And then another one would be I would love another Clock Tower.
Clock Tower would be great. Yeah.
Clock Tower is
violence. You choosing
Clock
violence.
Tower is a fantastic game. It'll scare the shit out of you.
Clock Tower 3, such a weird ass game. You ever see
Yeah,
Clock Tower 3?
they kind of like went off the rails with Clock Tower,
Yeah.
and I'd prefer like a return to form with like more of like the horror and like survival type elements rather than all right, let's just add magic.
Yes, yeah, it was weird, man. Some of the choices they made for that game were so strange. Like it almost seemed like a really bad.
You didn't know you were like secretly a priestess, and you can just like shoot magic arrows that defeat the bads. You're a magical girl.
Yeah, it was really weird.
Hey, you time travel and all that is crazy.
Yeah, it's fucking wild. Yeah, so I think those would be mine. As for developers, I don't really know.
I mean, you could just keep it Capcom.
Yeah,
Capcom.
That's where it is.
I think
Hold
I
on.
think I would stick to Capcom because you know they got that pedigree with it. Like it should be fine, right? But God,
Actually,
every time I think about the last one we got, I just get sad.
Oh,
Clock Tower 3.
what was?
Yeah, Clock Tower 3.
I thought that was a big hit. I thought that was a good one.
Clock Tower 3.
Or am I wrong?
I don't think
I don't-
so because
I don't think it was a big hit. I bet people like played like I mean I know I played it.
Mhm.
It was kind of bad.
Oh
But-
damn.
You know, whatever. I guess it had some cool elements still, though.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean that
Solving
creepy dude-
things between like timelines, that was neat.
Yes.
Just
yeah,
discovering you're like a priestess or you're descended from a priestess that have magical powers, less neat.
I just felt it just annoying because they had the panic system for those games where if you get too scared, you ain't moving. I'm like,
Yeah.
woman, get up! Run! The damn thing's gonna try to kill you. Get the hell up!
True
Shit,
story.
it was
Every
Capcom
time
that
I watch a
published
horror
it.
movie, I'm like, we should get out of
It was
there.
Capcom for Clock
Good
Tower and Fatal Frame, wasn't it?
Yep.
Not for Fatal Frame, I don't think
Yes.
it, but it was definitely Clock Tower.
I can
Clock
never
Tower.
remember. I
Um,
can never remember developers for things.
But yeah, it was Capcom that developed Clock Tower 3 with Sunsoft.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, I think it had sold, if I'm not mistaken here. It didn't sell poorly. I think it met its sales goals.
It reviewed
I think.
poorly.
Oh, Fatal
I
Frame
know
is
it-
Konami.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
it's a
Konami.
Yeah, that's right.
Failure
There
has-
there it is.
Okay,
That's-
so-
That's right. They made a Fatal Frame fucking pachinko machine.
okay.
Yep.
So it actually had
Yeah.
it had projected sales of 45,000, and it only hit 122,000 were sold. So it was a complete failure. It was like sold like 1/4.
Yeah, no, that's a colossal failure. That's why we don't have another one.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, not that it's a bad game, but I mean, actually, yeah, I'm pretty sure
It's kind of a bad game.
it honestly seems
Yeah,
It
no,
seems
it's
seems like a Kasoge. But
it's unlucky.
yeah, I mean, I'm thinking honestly, me personally, I'm thinking like a Parasite Eve would be really cool.
Oh, that'd be neat.
Parasite Eve
Yeah.
need to come back. There's been talks about a return of that.
Yeah.
What was the last?
supposed to do a
Parasite
remake.
Eve?
Third birthday or the PSP, I think it was the last
Yeah,
one.
that was awful.
Struck a nerve. It just came out.
I had to think. I was like, was Third Birthday literally the last one? Because that's one hell of a way to go out on a franchise.
It was so confusing too. at
Yeah.
times.
Game was, ugh.
The way you said it just reminded me of Attack on Titan Abridged. He was like, his bread tasted awful. Oh man. But yeah, third birthday. Ugh.
Yeah.
Birthday was really weird. Even Wooly doesn't like that game, from what I remember. Or he bitched about it a little bit.
Because they
Yeah.
did two Parasite Eves on console, and then third birthday came out on PSP. That was like years later. When you think about it, like Parasite Eve 2 came out on what system though? Was it PS2?
It was Parasite Eve 2 was PS1.
Wow. So we waited that long of a gap for a third Parasite Eve game.
Yes, it was
And then that's what we got.
It was a long time, and we're talking about the sort of like the boom of horror games and Final Fantasy that were coming out. So we had like Resident Evil, you had, you know, Final Fantasy whatever 7 through 9 coming on at the time.
Yeah.
And so you got to imagine Capcom's like, I'm sorry, Squaresoft is like, "Oh, look, we got horror games." And
it was a 12-year gap.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
They were kind of like testing the waters, I guess, and it didn't really work.
Yeah, I don't know. Put it on I guess, yeah, you could put it on a mobile game, the PSP handheld, and see how it was going to fare, and it didn't fare well.
Nope.
Oh, Jesus.
PSP, where some franchises just go to die.
That should be a whole other topic for next time.
Soul Calibur, is there a Soul Calibur on the PSP, like Broken Destiny or something like that, or is it the Vita?
Yeah,
I think there's a PSP one.
I think there's one on the PSP.
Speaking of Vita,
nice.
The original Steam Deck.
Is it a legal Vita?
What do you mean by legal? Like,
my man.
First of all, software isn't illegal, my man. It's just what you It's just what you do with the software that's illegal.
Jailbreaking is literally against.
That would be a no.
First of all, drugs aren't illegal, man. It's just what you do with the drugs.
It's just if you do them. Well, that's not true.
Drugs are illegal.
Drugs are illegal. You can't argue that fact.
But yeah, so the thing is that emulation software is not illegal. You can have emulation software. It's just what you do with it that makes it illegal. Yeah. Those on the other hand.
The emulation's kind of a gray area too, though. Like generally, the emulation software is like, oh, if you own this, then you can have the emulation software.
As long as you rip it yourself, then it's fine.
See, that even that is, I think, is a bunch of phony. I think that's a very gray area. I think a lot of people say that, but they don't actually know. But it's like
I'm
becoming
ripping my shit to put on.
Yep, it doesn't matter.
You gotta actually prove that though, and
whatever.
I think there's something against that as well.
It's a legal gray. Like what I'm trying to say is not that it's right or wrong. I'm saying it's a gray area that you're kind of playing with. Whereas like I would rather just if I knew I was gonna go to court for said thing, possibly I just wouldn't do it at all. But what I'm saying is companies have tried to sue emulator like development teams before, but they have failed because there is nothing wrong with actually building the software. But like, let's say if you have a PS2,
but you can include like the BIOS and stuff like that.
I'm talking. You talking over me. I'm trying to. I'm getting to that. Like, would you just give me a second, dude? Like, finish my damn sentence. Is like the fourth time. So, so anyway, yeah. So like with the PS2, you have the BIOS. Like, it is actually illegal to own that BIOS. Like, but yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like, I think you're right. But I will say this. Here's another gray area you could say is when with the disk drive, you can actually use your disk of like, let's say Onimusha 1. You could put it inside your disk drive, and you could have the emulator run from that disk drive, and then play it on your computer.
I mean, I did used to do that with the PlayStation 2 games. I could sometimes put them like literally into my drive, and then I'm like, oh, this just plays better on my computer than it does on the PlayStation 2. How interesting.
You know what? I'm not going to sugarcoat that at all. I've been hacking games illegally since the PS1. Yeah, I said it.
But ladies and gentlemen,
Backlog podcast does not endorse.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. We got him.
No, you ain't got me. I just been.
But horror games? What do you guys? What do you guys?
Horror games, yo. Speaking of which,
sometimes legitimately there isn't a way to play some of these games anymore, which I think is actually one of the topics of the podcast we're gonna get to later. But anyway, for me, I was really sad that we didn't get that new Silent Hill PT. or whatever. I want to do Silent Hill in general, so I'll take anything I can get. But PT looked awesome, and it's sad that we're never
hell
gonna get
out
it.
of me, man. PT was
The best I can do is a Silent Hill pachinko machine. Take it or leave it.
I know, right? For real. So that sucks. A new Dino Crisis would be cool.
technically we get a new Dino Crisis. It's called Exo Primal.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. I was gonna say,
Get off the
I mean,
Yo,
podcast.
it's a fun game. It's a
Basic
fun
games
game.
as a service.
It's a fun game.
PvE shit out of here. No, it looks fun, but it's not Dino Crisis. I want a single player game.
I mean, it's made by Capcom, and it's
Dino
Dinos,
Crisis
and it's a
also isn't a
Crisis.
horror game.
I mean,
Ooh,
depends.
you
Like,
got
are you
fighting
scared of
words.
dinosaurs? Some people are scared of dinosaurs. You don't know.
I mean-
but yeah, I mean that would be cool. That'd be cool. I'd like a sequel to Alien Isolation, because that's, in my opinion, one of the best horror games of all time.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's good.
If they could do like a Predator style Alien Isolation, that would be kind of cool. Like just Predator chasing you down in the jungle. I mean, they have that like multiplayer Predator game, but I want like an actual like single player Predator game.
Honestly,
I mean,
that Predator
I
game
feel like you would
is
just be
really
slaughtered
good.
instantly in a Predator game like that.
but I mean, he only goes after warriors, so I could see the concept actually working.
Yeah, but it would just
Yeah,
become Predator hunting grounds. It would just become that
Yeah.
eventually. I mean, it's not.
It probably would, yeah. Like you
Yeah.
would find like guns and stuff, and you would end up just like fighting the Predator.
Yeah.
And that's not how Alien Isolation plays out, you know.
Nah. Yeah,
But,
that's more. Yeah, Predator would be more action packed than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm sure that there's ways they can think of making it a little bit more horror-y. But yeah. I mean, like take any famous horror movie and actually make it like a single player game out of it. Like I'd love to like fight against like Freddy or Jason or whatever. Like
Oh, there's
not in
games
Mortal
for
Kombat,
that.
but an actual game, and not Dead by Daylight. I'll put it that
Scary
way.
Terry.
But
Have you played the NES classic Friday the 13th?
I haven't.
What about the?
God, that game was horrible. Oh, first of all,
I always choose violence.
my mama surprised me one day with a new video game on that Friday for the weekend. I was so
Oh,
ecstatic,
no.
Mhm.
Was
and
it
she
the
brought
ET
me, huh?
Was it
Nah.
the ET game?
I may be that old, but I never had that. So, but she gave me Friday the 13th, and I looked at her like, still sleep with a nightlight. Why would you give me this?
Mhm.
What the fuck?
That's savage.
Don't worry, there were no horror elements in it.
The gameplay could be horrific, sir.
True, that's facts. Yeah,
That game was trash. Oh my
it
god.
was pretty damn bad.
And I thought Simon's Quest was bad. That was horrible.
Yeah. What
Ugh.
about we'll actually have August. Did you have any other games here? Because I know we kind of skip right over you.
That was about it.
Yeah.
I mean, Resident Evils are kind of good. I'd like some spin-off stories. I would have loved if they had done like Code Veronica.
Yo.
Oh, a lot of people want Code Veronica back, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, like a
Yo,
reboot of Code Veronica would be cool. A reboot of the Revelations might be interesting.
Yeah, but we know, I know you guys don't like Resident Evil,
No,
right?
we like making fun of you about Resident Evil.
What?
No.
I played through all of Village.
Look, Kuma, I don't know how much of the
Single player
podcast you've
game
seen.
Village.
I don't know how much of this podcast you've seen, but they've
I've
been
seen a
giving
lot
me they've been giving me a hard time about Resident Evil for ever now. Like,
No, the only hard time we're giving you is we're telling you that your desire to see a realistic live action adaptation of Resident Evil is a pipe dream, and it's never gonna happen.
Well, this is the argument that I had with some people ever since, the Resident Evil series that came out on Netflix and it got canceled, and the reboot movie that they tried to do, and that was ass. I was like, you gotta think to yourself, maybe Resident Evil doesn't have a good story to
No.
do.
don't you
That's
feed
what
them.
we've been
Don't you
saying.
tell them.
There it
Don't you
is.
tell
There
them.
it
Doesn't mean it's a bad game.
Nah,
But when you
I
play
didn't say
Resident
so.
Evil,
Yeah.
when you play Resident Evil, the story's kind of jank.
Yeah.
We
absolutely.
never said it was a bad game.
Yeah.
He said he wants a Resident Evil with
Mhm.
like a really deep, like intricate story.
No, it's not
And I'm
that.
like, well, then just play The Last of Us.
No.
You got a point. Yes.
So,
Yes, The Last of Us. That's a good, intricate story. Resident Evil is
stop.
a summer blockbuster kind of game,
Yeah.
Stop. Don't listen
Because
to
it's-
these yahoos.
This is
Listen,
cathartic.
I don't want to put my age involved, but I've been around. So I'm sorry to say this. This is not really. It's B movie
Kuma?
trauma filled level
Yes.
storyline.
Yes.
Don't you do this to me, Kuma.
Yes.
I can't help it because
No.
look at the first game. Barry!
No,
There's
Kuma.
barrels!
Kuma.
Barry! And Wesker.
Kuma, I
come
liked
on.
you.
That
I
is
liked
a-
you, Kuma.
This
that
isn't
is a
for us,
that is
bro.
a horror
You asked for
version
outside
Darth
opinion,
Lundgren.
You got it.
I didn't actually ask. Look, hear my point, okay?
He
At
is
least-
a horror version of Van Damme at best, Wesker. I'm just saying.
At least get at least take my point of view, okay?
Okay, how you gonna get a live action good horror movie when you have Chris Redfield punching a boulder?
Listen to me. Listen to. Okay, I'm about to tell you. Okay. What if?
A giant snake?
What if?
What if? Okay.
What a
What
Someone
if?
sat down and wrote a story.
We're
about
already in a
the
fantasy world.
Would you let
We're
me speak?
already in a fantasy world.
Okay.
Look. I'm not gonna yell on the podcast because last time we talked about this, like 2 episodes ago, I was yelling like at the top of my lungs.
Yeah,
Go
you
for it. Go
were.
for it.
Okay.
You know what? Before you begin, I'm gonna give you this.
All right,
The
go on.
first Resident Evil movie was
Mhm.
going in the right direction,
Yes,
but
I agree.
then it went the Fast and Furious route.
Yeah, it literally became like
It just got weird.
Yeah, it got real weird. It's by the third movie. By the third movie, it was like anything that you had hoped for that like the direction of things could go in
But
was completely gone. Yeah.
But
it just
you
wasn't.
do have good Resident Evil movies, but they're just in animation form. Resident Evil Vendetta
do
was
we?
really good.
But Kuma, but do we?
Yes, Resident Evil Vendetta was really good. I mean, when you see Chris Redfield and Leon fight together in that whole scene, the storyline was actually pretty badass. Like I said, that's Resident Evil though. It has zombies and action.
Mhm.
It's popcorn. Yeah.
It's a great summer blockbuster. That's about
All
it.
right. So let me just put it to you like this. I want to take the first movie. I want them to do it again for a third time. but this time when they do it, I want them to have like it's like they take it seriously. They have more, they develop characters' interpersonal relationships with each other. When the horror moments happen, they're actually fucking legitimately scary. They're not camp, right? Okay. Like I think that they're legitimately scary, they're not camp. Like they would actually definitely scare you. It's not necessarily gonna be straight combat like like the game would be, right? Like maybe like they have the horror of like, well, you have like certain amount of bullets. It's like it has like thriller, horror thriller aspects to it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and I don't think you want a Resident Evil game.
I do.
Resident Evil movie. I don't think you do.
Of
shut up.
Us.
I heard you before. Damn it! Just like I do want a Resident Evil game, but I want to see them take this angle from it. You know what I'm saying? Like I want like, okay, look at Resident Evil 2 remake. Okay. That game is actually scary. I think that game is legit. I loved it because it's terrifying. Actually, and then the reason being is that they don't necessarily take themselves too seriously, but they take themselves seriously enough when it comes to danger, right?
No, I agree, because even Resident Evil 4 has what you're asking for.
Right.
If they did that as a movie, I could see that being horrific and scary as well.
Yeah, I mean, like, and so it's like plenty of other movies have kind of done that. Like, let's look at like Midsummer, right? Where it's like you could say like you go to a village, you like these people and groups that you don't know. That is horrifying. That is a horrible, horrifying, aspect of it. Mm-hmm. I'm saying that because of the remake, I know that they could do a movie that has, those elements to it. I don't know. I feel like there is still something there that they haven't quite hit the nail on the head. You know what I'm saying?
Well, there's always room to expand in Resident Evil, right? Like it's a super basic concept.
Yeah.
That they can't get right.
A lot of direction.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, we can all agree on is that just be glad Yui Ball hasn't made it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The first
Yeah.
problem is you had that guy make all those movies. And then
Oh.
and then no matter what, they just keep going back to the well, but with you know what I'm saying, not enough money, or they come up with a stupid idea like what they did to the last movie, where instead of having the movie in one area, they took it and they combined 2 games into one and tried to tell a story. Like I don't know why they can't just leave them in the mansion and then make a 1.5 hour, 2 hour movie for that. I think they could do it. I think they could really do it.
Paul Anderson is just trying to keep his wife employed. Okay, don't judge that man. He's just trying to keep Mila Djokovic paid. Okay,
Jill isn't even in the movie.
One of my favorite franchises got fucking Mila. Monster Hunter. I was like, hey, Monster Hunter movie.
Oh,
and then
don't even get me started on that movie.
Like,
God damn.
Monster Hunter movie.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started on Monster Hunter.
I'm just saying. They did it in Monster Hunter. It's the same director who made Resident Evil. So you're welcome. Okay.
They just always make the same movie. It's the same movie every fucking time.
But it was ass. Monster Hunter
I know.
didn't start off with a great
All of the movies
movie.
are ass.
Yeah, he went the Yui Ball route with that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm just done.
So
I'm done with that one.
Our point is not that someone couldn't make a good Resident Evil. It's that it would be a higher level of writing than any game in the series has ever managed to achieve.
But look at the bright side. We have been getting good video game movies somewhat. And I still will fight down this hill. Need for Speed was a good video game movie.
Well, I mean, no one can argue with you because no one's seen that movie, dude.
Like, I would say Sonic.
Nobody has seen that movie.
Sonic the Hedgehog is a good video game
Sonic
movie.
1 and Sonic 2 were good.
Yeah,
Mortal Kombat 95 is a good video game movie.
Yeah, that is. And also,
we got Annihilation.
No, that we got the 2020 fucking 21 movie. That movie sucks.
Movie was ass.
And they're gonna make a sequel. They're gonna make a sequel.
I know it.
The Scorpion Sub-Zero shit was cool.
Yeah, you mean like the first 5 minutes?
No, it wasn't.
Yes.
No, it wasn't.
The part in the trailer, that was cool.
Yo,
that movie made no sense, man.
Look, I don't mean to put like Phil, of course, here on you know, I don't put a neck around his rope around his neck, whatever. But like he actually tried to argue with me that movie's good, and I'm like, no, I'm sorry, sir. His opinion
about it.
His opinion is the other way around. He likes that, but he doesn't like the 90s, the original 90s Mortal Kombat. I'm like, no.
But the original 90s is like pure Mortal Kombat. It's just
part 2 was ass, but first one was great.
Well, yeah, Annihilation's trash, right?
Yeah,
but I'd rather watch Annihilation than the new Mortal Kombat movie. Because Annihilation can be taken as
on that one. I'm
sorry.
Yeah, I would say
riff on Annihilation the whole time. You can just laugh at Annihilation. Annihilation is actually fucking hilarious.
It is. It is hilarious in many aspects. I didn't laugh at all in the 2020 Mortal Kombat movie because I was just disappointed.
Yeah, it's just sadness.
I love how Kato stole the movie. Like, everyone hates Kato, and he was still the best part of that movie.
He was actually the best part of the movie. Yeah, that's true.
Unironically, Kato is like, everyone hates him in the actual games.
And this is what I hate. The creator of the movie literally said this. He put that guy, I forgot his name, in it to make Cole, that's his name.
Yeah.
To make the movie make sense. And I was like, what was so hard to understand Mortal Kombat?
What he means is he's the audience's avatar.
Yeah, he's the exposition character.
That's why. That's really
you had Liu Kang for that.
No. Well, I mean, they had to I don't know. They couldn't put Johnny Cage in that. Like, Johnny Cage could have easily been again. Like in the first movie, Johnny Cage was our avatar for learning the world.
Yes.
Liu Kang was also kind of there too, but you know what I'm saying. Like that movie. First of all, look, that first Mortal Kombat movie. And fantastic, man. That movie is like one of the best video game movies of all time.
So I don't understand why they had to make all these weird things where they needed tattoos to be worthy to fight in the tournament. If you're going to try to win a tournament, you don't care who comes into the tournament. You don't got to make these weird, janky rules to try to say it makes more sense that way. And like, nah, man, fuck out of
here. So really quick, before we move on, does anybody have any other movies that they'd like to see rebooted?
Oh, we're still on this topic.
We only went over games. We didn't go over movies.
Yeah, just like really quick, like any kind of movies you guys would like to see.
Nah, I didn't like the Evil Dead reboot, so no.
You didn't like the TV show? I liked the TV show.
No, the TV show was great, but it was like movies. I didn't like it as a movie. The reboot.
Oh, okay. I don't think I saw it.
Oh, by the way, I also want to point out the fact that the guy who directed the first Mortal Kombat movie also directed the Resident Evil movies. I just want to point that out. Like, ironically.
Yes, I know, but that was in his early ages when he had a better brain.
Yeah.
he wasn't with Mila at the time.
He gave a shit back then.
Yeah, he cared.
When Mila hadn't poisoned the well yet.
Yeah.
I can't really think of any horror movies that I'd want.
He also made Dead or Alive. Oh my god, he made Dead or Alive.
That wasn't a bad movie because
did he make Tekken?
Yes, there's 2 Tekken movies.
Oh, thank God.
There's a KOF movies.
Oh yeah, those are all shit. Yeah.
Tekken movies.
Nah, Dead or Alive wasn't bad actually. Dead or Alive wasn't bad because the simple fact is that there was no real story to Dead or Alive in the first place. So.
Look, that's right. He was also exclusive producer on Welcome to Raccoon City. What do you know? Oh my god, he was a part of that too.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Whoa!
What a filmography! What a filmography for this guy.
He actually, he has a lot of shit movies. But actually, you know what's funny, August, is he directed Event Horizon.
I mean, Event Horizon's a classic.
That's a classic.
Talent.
Every dog has his day, I guess.
That's pre-Miller, all right? So
he got a pre-brain damage.
She stole his games, bro.
Look at Cliffy B. He did a great job with Gears of War, but now he's just like weird.
Yeah, who knows what he's doing?
Exactly.
But any horror movies you guys want to see rebooted really quick, just so you want to list them off, and then we can move on to our next subject.
I would say The Gate.
The Gate. I don't know if I've ever seen that movie.
That's way in the late 80s, early 90s with kid Stephen Dorff. Kind of messed up movie. It was during that time where people thought that metal music had a satanic message in it. So they opened up a gateway to hell in their backyard and things just go all wrong in the cul-de-sac.
I think I've seen that.
Yeah. There's a couple dumb thrillers I'd like to see a new version of, like The Cube. I'd love
man, The Cube. I haven't seen that movie since it came out, like as a kid on VHS, dude.
I'd love to see another one of those. I'd love to see some more, like anything by John Carpenter. This shit was amazing.
To be fair, a lot of his stuff has been remade, and it did not work out.
Yep. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'd like to see a successful version of it.
Not Big Trouble in Little China, though.
That you know what? I might want to see. I don't actually. That's not true. Yo, Lassie Boy, thank you for the subscription and follow, man. I didn't actually. I don't think I pointed you out. Oh yeah, a minute ago. Yo, what's up, Lassie Boy? How you doing, man?
Big Trouble in Little China is a gem. It's not really a horror movie, but it is a gem.
It got some elements.
Yeah,
but like that demon thing, whatever it was called.
Yeah. Just what was that shitty '90s like horror movie or early 2000s horror movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger where he has to stop the devil for
reincarnating? 6 days.
Yeah. No, that movie's great.
Not 6 days.
Hold on.
6 days was the sci-fi one.
That was the Arnold.
6 days was.
I know what you're talking about. I don't know.
I know End of Days.
End of Days. It wasn't bad.
No, that movie's good.
Yeah, that was what I'm saying. I think there are a lot of like '90s movie gems that can honestly be remade on a low budget. That would be real fun.
That was like turn of the century type movie.
Yeah,
which is great because it was about the turn of the century, I believe.
You guys remember 13 Ghosts? 13 Ghosts was a gem.
Oh, that's a remake. That's a remake though.
I know, but the remake was really good. The one with like Matthew Lillard.
Creepy as hell, man.
Was it Tony Shalhoub? I can't remember who.
Yeah, Tony Shalhoub. Yeah. Old Monk Man from who's actually old Monk Man. He's actually from Maine, by the way. I don't know if you guys know that.
Oh,
that movie was creepy.
Yeah, he went to USM.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, well, which is I don't know if you know this, Kuma, but that's from me and August's neck of the woods.
Yeah, we're from that town.
Which is why I have an orange hat. I am a lumberjack.
It's in his DNA.
I was never school oriented, so yeah, I wouldn't know any of that.
But there's a lot of like just good movies that came out in the 80s and 90s that I'd love to see come back. Like I'd love to see a new Wishmaster.
Oh, Christine, that would be dope.
Yeah.
Well, if we're just talking movies, I'd love to see a new Monster Squad. Let's go,
that
squad
would-
up.
Yes!
Yo, Monster Squad. That's a good one. Yeah.
They re-released that too, man. Monster Squad would be great to come back. Werewolf got nards.
What was the one with Johnny Depp?
Nobody knows what I mean when I say that.
What was the one with
Thank
Johnny
you.
Depp? Was it Lost Boys?
Yeah, Lost Boys. I thought they tried to reboot that. Yeah, they did a sequel actually.
Lost Boys?
Wasn't that great? Yeah, they did a sequel to Lost Boys.
Yeah.
It was like after what's his name passed away, they did a sequel.
River Phoenix or something like that?
No. They both had the same last name. Corey Feldman passed away.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
And they did a sequel after he passed away.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's Corey Haim. I think is what you mean, right?
Yeah, Corey Haim passed away.
Because I believe Feldman's still alive.
Yeah, he's still alive. Corey Feldman's still alive.
He died in like 2010. Haim.
Yeah, so they did a sequel after he passed away.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I would like to. What would I like to see?
Friday the 13th.
Yeah. So Friday the 13th was also, it did have Depp in it as well. By the way, I think.
With the new comic books, they actually made it canon that Jason is Deadeye.
That's great because I mean I know that in the like I think it was like is it Jason 8 I think he like they had the Necronomicon in there, which was like I think one of the only movies that like I think it was like during a change of hands with the with the series, like who owned the series. So they were like, they wanted to make Freddy versus Jason versus Ash. They wanted to make that movie. Like in the 90s, which would have been peak moment to do that. And I guess they were just about to do it, and it just never came through.
They had like disagreements or something like that.
Yeah, some kind of disagreements. But anyway, yeah, man. Yo, did anybody happen to watch Gundam, Mobile Suit Gundam, Witch from Mercury? Because I think that's something we wanted to get through. Yo, Quinn, why don't you take this one, man? Why don't you talk about it a little bit?
Take this one?
Why don't you talk about it? Because we've been, this is a whole week in the making. 2 weeks in the making.
It has been like 2 weeks in the making. But so we're finally getting a new Gundam. And this Gundam, it's different. We're actually going to have a female protagonist, which is a series first.
Right.
And they released the prologue for the whole show, like just for free, just up on YouTube. They just threw that shit up there.
Mm-hmm.
And my like initial thoughts are, one, it looks gorgeous. The animation, they have really stepped up the animation for this Gundam series. The suits all look fantastic. The characters have great designs. Like everything just seems to like come together. There doesn't seem to be like that weird, like sometimes mismatch that you get with Gundam. Like sometimes they'll have like these super spotty kind of like CGI Gundams, and then like they'll have like old style like drawing characters. And you're like, okay, that's interesting, I guess. It sometimes works, like with Gundam Unicorn, but most of the time it ends up just kind of being a shit show. So the first episode, the prologue, episode 0, I guess, right? We were introduced to basically the concepts of the show, which is the Earth Orcs is devising mobile suits that run off of people's life force. And they're being like looked down upon for this and judged heavily because, one, the people in space don't believe that people of Earth belong in space working on this kind of technology, and two, they have multiple like failed trials where people are just straight out dying. Like there are multiple casualties. Like there's a lot of bodies stacked on with this Gundam project.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so just for the prologue, our 3 characters are mainly Aries' mother, Aries' father, and Aerie. So you can kind of figure out that oh, things aren't gonna go fantastic for these characters since their names are not even like mentioned. I don't think. I think they mentioned the mother's name once and I forgot it at this point. But um it all boils down to like a big conspiracy thing, and like there's like a huge like space meeting where
Base
they
meeting.
just they basically ban this the research of this technology
Never trust
since it's
space
taken
meetings.
so many lives, and
Mm.
they're like, oh, weapons are for killing, but these people's weapons are killing like their users, and this is bad.
Right. So what
Some
did you
weird logic.
what did you actually, I mean, what did you actually think of, you know,
Well,
Witch from
what did I
Mercury?
think of it?
Yeah.
I thought it was actually really good. I thought it has a super solid premise. The ending scene with the happy birthday actually gave me like chills. I was like, damn, that was a really, really good scene.
Yep.
I have very high hopes for this show as long as it can kind of like keep a similar tone and like character dynamic. Because my worry is that
Mhm.
this prologue was kind of like a bait and switch, and we're gonna end up having like Aerie like in a school or some shit, and it's just gonna be completely tonally different from the prologue,
Yo,
and
but
that will
what
destroy me inside.
what if Gundam was in school though?
Again? No.
What if Gundam pilots were in high school?
There always are.
Yo, Kuma, did you had a chance to watch it, right? I think you said.
Oh yeah, I watched it a while ago. Yeah,
What did you think of the witch from Mercury?
I liked it. It had a nice premise, like you said. It was a little bit more darker than I expected because at first I was kind of confused about what the conflict was until I had to watch it again,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, "Huh, yeah, that is kind of unethical to have a pilot's life force go through the damn machine." And that's the first in a series to actually do something like that. I mean, pilots have died while piloting a Gundam, but not in that sense.
Well,
Usually, it's just stress induced.
so hold on.
G Gundam actually did it.
Maybe I didn't
Yeah,
understand it. But
you're right. You're right. G Gundam kind of did it. Yeah.
All right,
That's
so
not canon though.
I having watched it, that's not. It wasn't
it
the
is.
impression I got. I didn't get the impression that it was taking directly from their life force so much as like, just like in Iron-Blooded Orphans, that like it's just too much data for the human mind to process. So like it will fuck your brain up if like the system goes into overdrive, which is why a lot of those people ended up in comas.
Well, they also mentioned when our main suit like first boots up, and like the mother and daughter are sitting there, she's like, wait, whose vitals like authorized this suit? And then she looks down in horror, she's like, oh fuck, my daughter. What the hell did you do, like, teacher? And
I'm
like
yeah, because the suit wasn't really waking up for anybody else, but she was the chosen one.
Yeah, I guess she's the
it was during the meeting between the grandmother and her granddaughter that she kind of the grandma programmed her granddaughter.
She's not really
she's not really a grandma. She just calls her grandma.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, she's like she's a teacher.
But either way, I think that was my least favorite part about this was the fact that they're using like a 4-year-old as a pilot.
Child soldiers? What? You don't like child soldiers?
That's anime.
I don't. I'm not. I mean, I'm not a big. I know that. Look, I know that is a very real thing that happens. And thanks to Mr. Hideo Kojima, I know about it now. As it is a large theme in a lot of his actual games, at least in Metal Gear Solid. He pushed hard to promote or to talk about child soldiers for a long time. Which
child soldiers.
Yeah.
It's Gundam staple.
I mean, I'm not a big. It's kind of true, but I'm still not a fan of like a 4-year-old essentially like becoming a murderer before they have like any kind of recognition of like what it means.
Yeah, but you know, she doesn't realize she murdered. She was just counting. She's like, oh, pretty like 1, 2, and 3.
It
and
was
self-defense.
Self-defense.
Technically, it was self-defense.
She thought she was looking at fireworks. I mean,
Yeah,
they look
were
like
so
candles.
pretty.
Yeah, it was her birthday, so it's like birthday
There was
candles.
a lot of like really fucked up lines in
And the
this
mom was like,
prologue.
okay, thanks.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of the teacher for doing that. I'm not a big fan of like her being a child soldier. I mean, I think that the Gundam itself is cool, but it seems like she is gonna wind up being like and then again, it kind of implies like, well, is this child, if the Gundam takes damage, is she gonna take damage as well, or is she some kind of like special case? I mean, because I doubt that they'll.
Yeah, she's probably gonna take damage. I mean, have you guys not seen Iron-Blooded Orphans? Like Iron-Blooded Orphans is super about.
Look, I don't want to talk about Biscuit, all right, man. That still hurts.
Yeah,
I have not seen Iron-Blooded Orphans.
This one didn't have to go out like that, man. He had to go out like that.
Quite a few characters went out like bitches in Iron-Blooded Orphans.
He didn't go out like no bitch.
What's up, Breezes? How you doing, man?
I'm just kidding.
What's wrong? But anyway,
yeah,
so
I mean, like I think like child soldiers are a big theme in the Gundam universe, so it's kind of par for the course.
But so this prologue, we've seen promotion material for Witch from Mercury, and this prologue takes place like 10 years before the main series starts, roughly.
Oh wow.
Oh, so she's only 14.
Yeah.
All right, whatever. Yeah, I'm fine with it now.
She's gonna be 14
cool.
in the show. She's gonna be like 14 or so.
You had the right feelings though, but that's what my writing teacher would say. If you could have somebody feel the compassion that you just did, worried about a 4-year-old girl and being mad at the person that's calling herself grandmother, they succeeded.
Yeah.
Because technically speaking, that's still the same thing. That she is 4 years old, starting off with this combat.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's still
it also
kind of
showed
bad.
that the grandmother would go to any lengths to like progress her technology. Like they kind of paint her as like a good character until like she hooks up the child and we learned like how the suits work and we're like, whoa, that was actually super fucked up. Why would she do that?
Yeah, because we learned that she's actually a scientist that just worried about her machine.
She's kind of crazy.
Yes.
And I mean, I don't know what it was, but there was also like a little bit of imagery there, and I don't know if it was intentional or not, of like her being attached to the Gundam as like an umbilical cord type deal of like
kind of.
There's like a vital connection.
Yeah,
it like goes to like your brain or some shit. It's weird.
It was like some intentional. It was some intentional imagery. But I don't think, I don't know, like. I honestly don't think that these people are the good guys. I don't. I mean, and the people that at least the little girl were working for.
That's kind of the whole point of Gundam, or at least a lot of the later Gundams, is that no side is explicitly good. It's just what they're after.
Because even in Gundam Wing, even in Gundam Wing, technically those guys were terrorists, as they consider like the popular Gundams that everybody was enjoying. They was like technically the terrorists.
Well, like in Gundam Wing, they were basically raised to be soldiers, raised to kill, raised to follow any order. And so Gundam, even from like the very first Gundam, you have a lot of themes of who actually are the good guys, who actually are the bad guys. And it's never that simple. It's always like a morally gray zone. Because people are doing fucked up shit on this side, and then you see people do fucked up shit on the side, and you're just like, oh, okay, both parties are actually just kind of shit.
Yeah.
It's like you gotta choose a side. Mostly how it works, especially in the US, whatever Gundam looks cooler, that's the side you're gonna be on.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, hail Zeon!
Oh no. No, man.
No. That is not gonna bode well.
But no, I mean, like, I think, you know, it's really, how do I put this? You know what? Come back to me. I'm curious to see what August has to say.
About this show?
Yeah, you know, the one you watched.
No. I said, I've already said kind of what I said. Like, I enjoyed it. I just like, I don't know if I'm gonna watch any more of it. Like, but it was I don't know, it wasn't bad. Maybe I'll watch an episode or two if I still see if I really like it. I don't know. Like the whole thing with Gundam to me is like the fights and the battles are awesome, but some of the stories are just like, okay, we get it. Space is a harsh place. People die. No one cares about other people. Yada yada yada. Like it's so grimdark that it kind of turns me off a little bit. So it's like, I don't know.
So
okay.
This is why I like the Gundam Builders.
Yeah. So I might watch a little bit more of it, but I don't know if I'll watch the rest of it.
Gundam Build Fighter is pretty good.
Yeah, I love Gundam Build Fighters.
So I have two things. One, I think the little girl is actually created in a lab. I don't think she's.
I think so too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think she's gonna wind up being. Hey, heavy arms.
Heavy arms.
That's what I'm currently building.
He's missing his legs.
You're getting there. You're getting there.
I think she was built in a lab. Because she seemed to be like a natural when it came to being inside the pilot suit or the cockpit. And I also think it's interesting that this is supposedly universal century, and now instead of having multiple colonies, we have one giant space versus Earth now. That's what they're going with. Because they call it the Spatians.
I want to piggyback off of your thing.
Mm-hmm.
I also think that she's not like a legitimate just child. I think she's been experimented on.
Yeah.
And maybe not grown in a lab or anything, but very possibly like she has been enhanced as like a human, because the professor's entire like thing was making humans better for space. And so I think that Eri is like her like final kind of design philosophy for like a space human.
Which is probably why she's called Grandma, or
exactly.
And why they like why people are so comfortable letting a 4-year-old around the Gundams, or why was there no other children there? Why what I mean? Like all other questions I have, I
also
think
her vitals were already registered.
Exactly. Well, I mean, she did register. The assumption is that grandma / teacher, whatever, had registered them while waiting for while keeping her safe inside the mobile suit. But also my question is, well, if this is this the assumption that this is the next level in terms of piloting a Gundam, opposed to being a new type, which was supposed to be, what human evolution was to live in space, to, but I mean, I don't, which I'm assuming new types are it's part of like human evolution and or also to live in space. But anyway, man, I thought this was a really interesting and great first episode. I
definitely want to see more.
Next. Yeah, for sure.
I want to see where it's gonna go. Yeah, indeed.
It gives me high hopes, like really high hopes. I think this might be like one of the best opening episodes for a Gundam show that I've ever watched, to be brutally honest. Like,
I think so too.
All the themes are on point, all the characters are on point. Like, they even got me to like some of the characters in like 5 minutes of screen time to kill them off. I'm like, fuck you guys.
Especially the father. That was a tough way to go, but still sad. I was like, Jesus.
Yeah.
Well,
like the enemies are like, cut them in communication. Oh, we can't. Oh, okay, we just have to listen to this morbid ass shit. All right, fine. This is gonna haunt me for the rest of my days.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's great. I don't think I didn't feel too emotionally attached to anybody like they wanted me to, but I will say one thing. I was reading the comments of this YouTube video, and I would say that the one thing that I picked up out of it, and I thought was really interesting, and I think it's very true, is what this Gundam show does better than most Gundam shows is that it shows you and not tells you. And which is why what a big problem Gundam has is it loves to tell you about its politics, and which is something that nobody really liked. I mean, a lot of people don't like about it. I mean, some people do. Some people are probably purists or whatever. But this show gives you a lot of information. You could probably watch it like 2 or 3 times and just you could pick up like a little bit more each time. I know I had to, like, I watched it the first time and then I had to go back through it and scrape. And so I would be surprised if you were like half watching it, you would miss a lot. Like a lot.
A lot was told just through expressions.
Yes, a lot.
Like reactions from characters to events. You're like, oh, wait, that's kind of messed up then, huh?
Through expressions, through the idea that like not only that, like a news program, like him just saying like, oh well, you're trying to shut down our Gundam program, and it's like they didn't have to explain to you why it was horrible, or they're trying to assassinate these people. It was like it wasn't like there was no political rant about things. Not yet, but hey, there's still time for political rants.
Other than Gundam's bad, these Earthians don't belong in space.
Yeah, of course.
But that was like a political speech by a guy.
But it was short. It was short. You got to the point.
It was.
It wasn't anything too like zigzag.
They even cut him off like halfway through, it seemed like, because then we just got like the characters' reactions to the speech, and like, oh god, you need to know what's going on.
Yeah. And of course I do think that like they are definitely the bad guys, but at the same time it's like how many Gundam shows are typically like August said, the bad, who is good, who's bad, and a lot of times the people that are created under bad situations wind up doing something that's right. And that's actually a huge cliche of Gundam, is like, like the like, what is it? Zex Marquis like winds up sacrificing himself at the end of Wing, spoilers, to save everybody. He's the bad guy of the show for the most part. But yeah, man, I'm interested to see where this goes. So let's keep on pushing it.
Final ratings.
Final ratings. Yeah, I'm interested to see what you guys have to rate this. Yeah,
because I'd give it like a 9. Honestly, I feel like everything fell into place. It was pretty much perfect for like an opening episode.
Yeah, I'll give it 9 plasma swords.
9 plasma swords out of 10. I like that. Yo, August, are you alive?
I give it like a 6 or 7. I wasn't super entertained. I might like it a couple more episodes later if I watch a couple more episodes, but I'm like, okay, yeah, like it's space, it sucks, people are mean. Like I've seen that before. I don't know, didn't do anything new for me.
Right. I think I'm gonna give it I'm gonna give it a 9. I'm gonna give it a 9.
Hey.
I was gonna give it an 8, but I'm gonna give it a 9.
9 squad.
9 squad, baby. So with that, did anybody happen to read about the Oda and the KOFXV matchmaking? August, you wanna take the lead on this one?
August.
We gotta get you active. We gotta get you working out this episode here.
Yeah, wake up, dude.
For real. It's just you guys are gushing over Gundam, but I'm like, it was okay.
That's messed up.
I'm the only one that's like, it was okay. Let me see. Essentially, they're interviewing Oda about KOF15, asking him if, like, basically any of the updates or patches he plans to do are going to fix it. And he basically was like, well, listen, okay, yeah, I mean, matchmaking, a lot of people are claiming they have problems, but, like, he was basically like, for what I am, our internet works fine in Japan. So,
oh my god. Hey, what's that noise?
What's that? I don't know. What is that noise?
Like a helicopter. Or a plane or something.
Hold on.
A plane? A helicopter?
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's off now.
Hold on,
It's gone now.
Was it me?
I don't know. I didn't know where it came from.
Is that any better? Did it go away?
I don't hear it anymore.
Okay. Anyway, go on.
But yeah, so essentially he basically came to the opinion that like, yeah, like we acknowledge that people are complaining, but since we don't have any data on their problems, we'll just do what we can. And it's like, bruh, I mean, clearly the internet in Japan works different from the internet outside. Like you have to like send some testers over or like, find out what's going wrong in these other countries and why they're having such a bad online experience. And like he definitely took the very like it's good on my end approach, which I think is bullshit in 2022. Because if your game can't be enjoyed by a lot of people that bought it, it's gonna make it for a dead game a lot quicker.
It's working great in Japan.
Yeah, you're right.
Isn't that the
It's
entire problem with online with most fighting games?
I mean, it's basically I mean, that's why it's taken them so long to adopt rollback in general. So yeah, I mean, it was a pretty frustrating answer for him being like, oh yeah, well, we can't see the problem, so I mean, we can't really do anything about it. And it's like, bruh, I mean, like in 2022, how hard would it be to like send out a little patch that was like record your error and like, you know, like fucking every time my Microsoft Windows does like a crash dump, it's like, do you want to send it to Microsoft? I always click no because I hate fucking Microsoft. But if I did it, I would send them the crash dump info. And that's kind of my point. It's like, why can't that exist for games in 2022? Just very disappointed, especially that attitude, because like now we live in an era where like you're not always going to be able to gather together in person places to play games, so online needs to be able to work. In fact, I'm actually kind of sad that a lot of the online. Hold on, I'm getting like an echo too. Shit.
Yeah, they. You have a fan on where you are, August?
I don't have anything on. I just have my mic in front of my headset.
Let me mute my mic and see if it's me. Hold on.
I've already. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean, I guess my point is that, like, I mean, one of the things I most liked about COVID era is that there were always tournaments on because, like, everyone's like, "Hey, why don't we just run it online?" And suddenly you had these big tournaments out of nowhere, where before all you had was these like tiny local, and it was awesome. Like you had the like ICFC like Tekken shit. You had Spooky holding down NLBC by himself, having like a giant East Coast NLBC online. You had WNF online. Like all of that shit was awesome. I mean, COVID sucked, but just being able to like pop in and have like 3 big fighting game tournaments every week, just because people were coming in from everywhere, that was sick. And I mean, we can't have that if the games don't play well online. So I mean, like the way he was talking about it, he made it sound like the online isn't really a priority. And I'm like, if it's not a priority, then that means your game's going to die that much faster. Like it needs to be a priority to keep the game alive in this day and age. So I was pretty disappointed. Like I like, granted, I think the crossplay will fix it, but I mean, I don't know. You actually play KOF matchmaking like in America, so you probably know. But like from what I've heard, like it's not that great. You have to wait a while for a match, and there should be ways to find that data and find out why. You
know. Okay. So yeah, the biggest problem with KOF right now is of course it's online. At least I play on Steam or PC, and it was like, you know, first week or couple of weeks it was great, and then after a while it just turned into me like sitting there waiting for a long time to get matches. And most of the time, you know, it was like groups of people that knew each other that were on there. That the Steam player base is too small to kind of, you know, get consistent matching. Whereas if you play something like Tekken, you know, you're gonna get matches. It's still popular enough to, you know, especially online or PC, that you're going to be able to get a good, you know, good number of matches during the week. Whereas like you still have Tekken players complaining, also side note, that you still have Tekken players complaining that, you know, the online's bad, or, you know, but they don't. But the thing about Tekken players is most of them don't play other fighting games. You know, no hate to Tekken players, but I'm just saying, you know, a lot of you guys don't actually play other fighting games, or you don't go online. You don't know how good you have it.
Here in the shade.
You don't know how you don't know how good you have it with, you know, Tekken. But still, KOF definitely has a matchmaking problem. They have said that they're going to have more of a like they're going to bring in a cross-play system going forward. But at the same time, it's like, how good is that going to be? You know, considering, you know, we have this guy saying we can't reproduce the, you know, the environment that people or issues people are having with KOF 15. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a little frustrating when, you know, you have other companies that are so willing to jump through hoops, where you have this guy essentially, if he said, "Yo, we don't have the money to do that," I would be like, okay, fair enough. You don't got the money, you don't have the funds. But this guy's just saying, "Hey, everything's okay over here. Why you man, just upgrade your internet. What's your problem?" You know?
Yeah. It's pretty dismissive answer of a lot of people that have legitimate concerns about their service not working the way it's supposed to.
Yeah. Also, somebody in the chat, I think it was Leonardo84 was saying that they're making a Onimusha, and what was it? Onimusha? Are you interested? Onimusha and Near Auto Tomatoes anime series coming next year.
I did hear about that. Yeah.
Which is,
I had not heard about that.
I hadn't either, but I think we'll definitely be covering that when it comes out.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, probably.
I'm looking forward to it.
I love Onimusha. I'm a big Onimusha guy.
Yeah, so. Onimusha's fun.
Yeah, and I would like to find out more about what Nier's story is. Like, if there's a story there.
Oh, there's a lot of stories.
There's a lot of stories.
Yeah, I mean... Sorry there, Beast. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No. Go for it. No. I was just saying, this just goes into all sorts of different territories. That's why there's so many different type of games. So it's like...
Right.
I'm curious about which one they're going to use, though. That's the question.
What I think they should honestly do is that maybe... Well, I don't know. Would you really want, like, post Nier 1? Or, post Nier 1? I mean, I like Nier 1. I'd be interested, but we're also talking about two very different tonality-wise, two different, types of shows that could come out of that. So
you're right.
I'd be interested to see how they stick the landing. But yeah, man. Did anybody have anything else to say about the matchmaking problem in KOFXV? Does anybody have any experience with this?
I just felt it was very bold that he would, because honestly, I'll say it right now, I didn't play King of Fighters 15 yet, but after reading that thing, I think I'm going to just pass on it because I don't know what you're trying to do here. Like, you want your game to succeed or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
It still has... Still has seasons to come. Anyway, yeah, it still has other game, like, passes, other seasons to come of KOF. Who knows how many, but still.
Yeah, because I feel like
if you won't support it, properly, why should we support it?
Exactly. It's a lot of money to be buying these games, and you're just saying, well, I don't know. You can't have that kind of...
buy our new DLC.
Yeah, right. Buy our DLC. Because I kind of felt that way with Samurai Showdown, and I felt like it had a lot of potential to be better, but I was just like, it felt...
Well, we're at least getting rollback from it, but
Sam Show is actually a really fun game, and I'm probably gonna pick it up once the rollback kicks in.
I'm just waiting for crossplay for Strive.
That's fair too. I mean, Strive's gonna basically become immortal once crossplay hits it. So
yes. That's all I gotta say about that. I'm just like, these developers need to really think before they say something towards the public.
They need to respect their player base more.
True that. That's another thing. They definitely do.
I mean, it's 2022. Like, how hard is it to actually like send out a patch that's like, it lets you, if something doesn't work, it lets you kind of compile data on it and just send it,
Yeah, but we also have to respect them more. It's a two-way street.
Yeah, it is a two-way street. So I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I'm gonna say, who's actually properly telling the devs that there's a problem?
No one.
Because that is also another issue where a lot of people don't address the issues properly.
Yeah, they just bitch about things on Twitter.
Yeah, they'll go on Twitter or some social media and blast it up like they actually been complaining about this to the devs personally and not getting an answer. They'll just go straight there and be like, yeah, they're not doing this and that. I'm like, did you talk to them? You send a message to them first? Like, no, but still, I'm mad. I'm like, well, then you're not going to get any results.
Kuma with the real question.
There definitely does need to be a better way to provide constructive feedback to game devs in this day and age.
There is. I mean, know what that is. No, there is, because half of these game devs are on Twitter as well. You can send them a message. They actually open once in a while, but with all the other feedback from the horrible player base, I can see why they close up their messages.
Yeah.
Also true.
Yeah, so it's like they do have
we get toxic. We can get hella toxic.
Toxic is an understatement.
We're sending in death threats and shit. Fix your goddamn matchmaking or I'll destroy the whole company.
Private parts being sent to the damn devs and stuff like that.
Yeah, right.
Jesus Christ. That was a new one for me. I was like, y'all sending that? Like, what the fuck is going on?
We just blame Michael Murray on the Tekken end. Yeah, but that's not fair either. He made one stupid comment, and then that's what everyone focuses on now.
Yeah, it's like you holding on to something that's just like, whatever.
To be fair, this could just be a stupid comment. Like, this could, I mean, you never know. It could just be something.
That's fair.
somebody said in passing, and now like for example, Kuma's he's not going to be playing KOF, right? Like it's
not until I see something.
Yeah,
I'm not either. I'm not,
because video games are a big investment and it costs us a lot of money, especially with the DLC, season passes, or whatever.
Especially fighting games. Fighting games are notorious for costing way too damn much.
Yeah, so I'm gonna see where these devs are gonna go first before I invest my money into their product, because Tekken, Guilty Gear, they so far been doing a great job.
Yeah, absolutely.
Street Fighter's turned it around.
Street Fighter 5 turned it around actually, and Street Fighter 6 is looking phenomenal. So can't wait for that. But
it's looking degenerate as shit, but it's looking really good.
For a long time now, and I talked about this before, that a lot of developers don't pull out demos, But now that seems to be coming back again, and that gives me more faith in the company. Yeah. Gives me more faith in the company. Before, we was just like, a game would come out and we had a hit or miss. And we can't get a refund unless you're on Steam or something like that, but even before that, we couldn't get refunds. So we bought a game, we had to take the L.
And people got tired of that. Steam's kind of locked down their refund. It's like, okay, have you played it for 2 hours, though?
Well, they say if you did play 2 hours, that's what I'm saying, You play it for 2 hours, you can't get a refund. But still, there's a refund there.
Yeah. Well, before Steam was pretty damn lax. You could have a game for 5 days and play 10 hours. Man, this game just kind of sucks. You're like, Steam, can I have my money back?
Yeah, I'll give a store credit or something like that. But
and oftentimes they'll just do it. They're like, yeah, whatever.
Exactly. But, a lot of developers are starting to be more confident in their games and giving us betas and more demos now. So I'm feeling more safe a little bit.
Yo, guys.
Well, that's because they've probably seen in this age, what a shit show it becomes when you release a game unfinished.
As much as I want to keep this going, guys, we gotta keep pushing so we can cover a few more topics before the podcast.
My bad.
It's all good. So did anybody see really quick that KOF 13? Speaking of KOF, the 2D sprites took 16 months to make per character.
Character. That's crazy. There's crazy detailed, so I could see why, but we still get other sprite-based games.
But we're never getting another sprite-based KOF, probably just because of that, though.
Yes.
I mean,
that was without the help of AI or some other shit. Hand done, no, it's not happening anymore.
No.
So that's to be expected. Oh.
So we're talking about 500 frames per character. At a quadruple resolution, because it took estimated a year and 4 months to complete. But yeah, man, this is exactly why we're never gonna get another KOF 13 unless they reuse those sprites, man. Yeah, I don't think it's ever gonna happen.
I think 15 still looks really pretty, so I don't know.
Yeah, 15 looks good, so I don't know why they would have to go backwards.
There's a lot of people like to bitch about the 3D. They don't like the 3D look. Although I think 3D is looking better every day. Especially with what Arxis is doing.
I mean, they could go cell-shaded route, because that's another great art style.
Yeah, also true.
Breezels. KOF 13 is one of the most beautiful sprite-based games.
Or they could do do what Arc System Works does. I mean, they got that anime style locked down for their fighting games.
It's very true. I would be shocked to see, honestly, what I think they're going to do is, I don't know if you heard this, Kuma, is that they're going to be re-releasing Garou. They're going to be making Garou 2.
Yes, I am so happy.
Garou 2 is going to be fantastic, and I'm excited to see what they wind up doing with that. But I think, personally, that they're going to go back to doing sprite-based work.
No.
SNK. You think so for Garou 2?
For whatever reason. SNK watches this podcast. Listen to me.
Yeah, listen, SNK, please.
Talk to the guys at Arc System Works. Get their animation team and make Garou. That's all I need y'all to do.
I mean, the Blaze Blue guys aren't doing anything anymore, so...
Exactly. Get the Blaze Blue guys. That's still Arc. Well,
Mori just left, so they're super not doing anything.
Yeah, that's why I said they're not doing anything right now.
Give us that anime style for Garou. That'll be
Blaze Blue's actually dead, so they got a bunch of free time.
Good, fuck that game.
Ouch. Damn.
I mean, I hear it's good.
No,
honestly, it's the Diet Pepsi of Guilty Gear. That's what I used to call it.
Oof.
Yep, that's
right.
true.
I said it.
Blaze Blue is fun, Breezels. These guys are just haters.
Nah, man. not a hater. Not a hater. I just look. I don't like Ragna the bad guy.
He's
Okay.
You mean? Ragnar the Edgelord?
Soul Ragna.
Or devil-looking Potemkin with the magnets.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of what is it? Yeah, Ragna Ragna the bad guy, Soul the Blood Edge, whatever. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of that, and it was all because, they couldn't make Guilty Gear games at the time. So they were like, "Yo, we need to make a Guilty Gear like game." And so they started making that. And it just wasn't the same. But anywho, yeah, man, I'm super excited to see what they do. I would love to see these sprites come back. Anybody have anything else they want to touch upon with the KOF13 sprites here before we move on? All right, so games as a service. I think this is a big thing. I didn't quite pick this subject because I don't really know a whole lot about it. So I don't know if you guys who wants to take this one. Or who had picked this topic?
Well, August picked this one. August fought for this one, so
give us a breakdown. Give us a breakdown.
I'll admit, I got a little lazy. I didn't finish the video, but the whole idea is basically
you fucking dickhead.
The whole idea is basically that games as a service is incompatible with games as art. And I 100% agree. Even further, in that games as a service is wholly incompatible with games as art able to be preserved, because if you think about it, most of these games, especially that are server side, you know what I mean, like once they pack up shop, that's it, you're not playing them again, even if they have single player modes, you know what I mean. And a lot of them are even cutting out the single player content nowadays, so they're really just multiplayer only experiences, which means once the servers go away, there is no more game.
Right.
And that sucks. I mean, like some games, I feel like games are a form of art, just like a movie, just like any other thing. And the fact that some of them are just disappearing just because they started online and ended online is kind of a tragedy. So I want to hear your guys' opinion on this. But yeah, basically games as a service is cool, but give me something single player that I can always keep, and I would be happy. But the fact that the game starts doing poorly a couple years after a couple years, they shut the servers down, and that game you spent $60 more on full price, or even more if you bought skins, doesn't exist anymore. That's fucking ass. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it's just trash.
Okay,
if Fortnite ever dies, imagine those people that have spent $500 on Fortnite. I don't know why you do that, but someone's done it. And you know what I mean?
Of course, many people.
Yeah.
But I see what you're talking about, because honestly, Ubisoft just did a thing over the summer where they're going to be shutting down the service for a lot of their old games, like Wildlands, Breakpoint. They all getting shut down.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that's fucked up. They still got good online co-op play and stuff like that. So why shut them down? I don't get it. Just because your NFC failed? What's going on here? So the games as a service model, I don't like it at all, because like you said, there's a lot of great games that just aren't great as single player, but once they shut down, you can't play them no more. And it's weird, because I don't understand the concept of what they're trying to do here, where they want to keep on continuously make money off of their game with subscriptions or in-game purchases for a single-player game. Like Assassin's Creed Origins has that. And I'm like, so you make it super hard for you to collect stuff in the game, or you give people the option to buy the stuff, like Street Fighter V did when it first came out. You could unlock everything, or pay the $30 and unlock everything that way. And I'm like, why? Give us the option.
Absolutely.
It's a tricky rule, and that's
what I'm saying. It would be one thing if they gave us an option to keep some stuff, but the fact that all of it goes away is terrible.
Well, look at Marvel 2. Marvel 2 is, in my opinion, still trapped on the PS3.
Mm-hmm.
You could say, "Oh yeah, but we have a arcade 1-up cab." I don't care. I'm not paying $600 for Marvel 2. Okay.
Preach.
Okay? I'm not paying $600 for Marvel for the low price.
It's like some people don't even have that kind of room to put the damn cabinet at. So it's like,
I don't. I really if you.
I have a spot where it could go, but Fuck
I
that.
don't want to. Yeah, I still have my PS3 with all Origins and Marvel 2 on it. So I'm like,
Yeah,
I
but
play it there.
I mean, so that's great. I mean, like Breezes, we know we have Fightcade, but I mean, look, we're looking at it from a
Yeah,
legal
but
standpoint.
that's-
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like
It's kind of a.
Well, I still can't even figure out how to get Fightcade to work. So I'm just like,
if Fightcade 2 is a little bit more complicated, but there are if you just you go to Google, and I don't mean to be sarcastic, but actually if you go to YouTube, you put in Fightcade 2 setup, there are some very easy ways to set up Fightcade 2.
okay.
That may or may not auto download the game and let you play it. You can only there's an auto ROM download. So like literally if you click on a game, it'll auto download the ROM. Maybe it might, I don't know. I haven't seen it though. And the only downside with Fightcade 2 is you can only play up to 3 games at a time. So to be able to play another game, you have to like unsubscribe from one game. But if you pay for the subscription, you can kind of get more games or unlimited games, I think.
And that's just only for you to fight with somebody else, right?
What's that?
Like you just can't like fight solo. You always gotta fight somebody, right?
You can play through the arcade mode by yourself if you wanted to. You don't have to play against other people, but you can also turn off to get invites, or if you turn it on, you'll get notifications saying da 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 da, and like it'll say this person challenged you. But yeah, it has like Dreamcast games. It's got Super Nintendo games. It's really dope. It has arcade games. But yeah, anyway, games as a service. Like for me, the biggest thing is like there's so many interesting games that we got on like PS3 era, like Daytona USA or Simpsons the arcade game or the X-Men beat 'em up game. Marvel vs. Capcom. There's Fighting Vipers. I was literally about to say that. Yeah, Fighting Vipers is great. Really underrated game, and like they're like the arcade versions of these two. Not even just not the console versions, the arcade versions. Something that you're never gonna see anywhere else. They're stuck on games as a service. They're stuck on on the PS3. Which if you own those, if you can't delete them now. They're on there forever. If you delete them, you cannot re-download them. That's the thing.
Not true.
That's not true.
Not true. Not true.
Not true.
No.
I just recently brought a PS3 and I re-downloaded all the stuff that I had on my download list. As long as it's in the download list, you can still download your games.
I was gonna say I had a Voltron game.
I got the Voltron. I just re-downloaded it.
Server anymore.
It is. It's in your download list. You can still re-download it.
I didn't know that. Well,
I got the Voltron game.
Listen, let me tell you something. I will add this in. My PS3 may or may not be modded as well. So I can't. I don't know. I may not be the purist on this one, but still, yeah, man. Like for me, as someone who loves retro games, just like Beast Gamer Kuma and a little bit of August here, even though he really doesn't play video games.
I find other ways to appreciate video games.
He doesn't.
Some people like to watch. Why are you kink shaming me?
Look,
he's an enthusiast. He's a voyeur in video.
Listen. Nobody's shaming you for cucking other people who play video games. Okay.
Oh wow! Damn.
Like,
but wouldn't he be the video game cuck?
Yeah, I mean that's. I don't even like.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
You know what? Next, did you have a point to this comment? Where was it going?
I don't know. It sounded like just a roast of August.
Listen, Augie, I was just trying to make you laugh, but it didn't. It went south real quick. I'm sorry, dude. I was just trying to make you laugh. That's it.
I was trying to shit on you until you laughed, dude.
Like, listen, August, you're the go-to laugh guy. If we need a laugh track, dude, you're the man. So I apologize. But can Quintessence, can you tell me a little bit about this?
Wait, did Quintessence have an opinion on games as a service? Do you have
an opinion you want to throw out there before we switch on to something else?
Okay, sure, I guess.
Oh no.
So at its core, I like the concept of games as a service because you're just getting like this flood of content usually, and it's great just up until the servers go down.
Yeah,
And then all that money and time you spent.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that's all gone. But you also have to accept that nothing's gonna last forever, and
I mean, I can still play my Super
You-
Nintendo games, homie.
you have to accept that even though you spent like $1,000 on this game, right? You're not gonna have that stuff forever.
I
Yeah, I
beg
think
to
that's-
differ, sir.
I think that's a
yeah.
big point,
Well-
against buying cosmetics in game in general,
If someone
because
loves the
those
game
aren't
enough,
forever.
look at Phantasy Star Online 1 and 2. People still have those servers up, and you can literally go and play that game for free now because Sega refuses
Yeah.
to put up a server.
But it's not your stuff.
What do you mean?
Your stuff's gone. You can still go play, Phantasy Star 2, but it's not your stuff that you got.
I mean, you could re-earn it, whatever you got. Yeah. I mean,
You just got to start over. That's all.
yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, but then again, I mean, some people do have an issue with starting over, what they had spent money on. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't think Phantasy Star Online 1 and 2 on PC had, purchases or repurchases of stuff, but I think it was all like in-game currency. I believe. I think it was like a little before, World of Warcraft ruined everything. Like, I'm just gonna say it right now, it ruined everything.
What? No, EverQuest started ruining everything. Hello?
I'm sorry. Okay.
EverQuest was World of Warcraft before World of Warcraft, and then we also had Ultima before that. What are you doing?
All right.
Damn.
Anyway,
don't worry. It keeps going.
But I'm sorry.
Games
I know
and services is bad.
It's bad. Don't do it.
It's bad.
Stay in school. Don't do drugs.
It has some upsides. I get it. You guys like completely locking down your game and having everything online. I understand from I don't want hackers and stuff in my game too. But come on.
I think my bad experience was when I played the Need for Speed 2015 Return. And that was a fully online game, which was weird because it had single player aspects. But when the servers went down for a moment, we couldn't get online to play at all.
Yeah.
So I was just like, what the hell, man?
Yeah, it's whack.
I'm in my single player storyline. I can't get on because it's online as well. Like, what the
hell whack?
Well, the thing about games as a service is early in games as a service, they just like the multiplayer side, you had to be online. But then they started doing the always online stuff, and that's when you can't access anything.
Yeah,
you're just screwed out of your game. Period.
You can't even go offline mode and just play. Nope, gotta be online to play it.
Look at even Tekken 7, like going online with offline mode with Tekken 7. They sometimes make you have to go online to confirm that you bought the DLC. Which is annoying. Like you shouldn't have to do that.
I think when Steam maintenance hits, you can't sync with the cloud, so it's like, oh hey, you can start Tekken, but you won't have any of your stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Like weird. So weird.
So Tekken Revolution, exactly, Breezels. That's just vaporware, basically.
Let's cover this EVGA and NVIDIA stuff, and then we're going to close out here.
Yeah.
EVGA.
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 Sounds like a weird drink.
EVGA.
Anyway,
so
Quinn, what's going on with this computer stuff that I don't understand?
Okay, so
Hacker Man.
PC Master Race News.
Yeah, right. So basically, NVIDIA's been treating EVGA like garbage for years now. And now it's finally come to a head where EVGA was finding ways to overclock cards creatively and bypass power limits and stuff like that. And so in a final attempt to stop all of this, NVIDIA's like, okay, we're moving all of the BIOS development stuff onto an online server run by us. So anything you do, we will be monitoring so that we can make sure that you aren't, messing with things you shouldn't be. And they essentially gave EVGA an ultimatum, like, okay, so share what you're doing with the rest of the class, or, you know, just don't do it anymore. And so, like, one of the big draws for EVGA was always, like, how, like, good and solid their overclocking was, for example, because they found out ways to, like, change the power limits so that your overclocks are more stable at higher clocks. And so EVGA is like, well, okay, fuck you, basically. And they just cut ties. So they aren't even in the graphics card industry now, because EVGA was only doing NVIDIA stuff. Like, they're just out. And we don't know if they have any plans to, like, possibly go to AMD or maybe Intel and do graphics cards for them. We don't.
Not only that,
we don't know anything.
Weren't they the best like customer service in the industry for third-party
probably.
games?
Like,
Yeah.
the Step Up program was fantastic. Their warranties were really good. Basically, I don't know, they were my go-to, and I feel kind of lost now. I actually don't know what brand I'm gonna support anymore.
I mean, honestly, I feel like NVIDIA graphics cards get overly hyped, but that's just me. Because there's other brands out there that easily are good and for affordable prices.
There's two brands right now. There's NVIDIA and AMD.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I gotta.
AMD cards are pretty good though, yes.
Yeah, they are. They're very. I have one in my computer, but it's just that if they're treating people bad, like that's going to happen. So we're gonna hopefully EV. How you say their name again?
EVGA. It's just EVGA.
EVGA. Hopefully they'll find somebody better to treat them better as a company. Because yes, they did have great customer service. So I don't know what NVIDIA was thinking, and they're gonna shoot themselves in the foot right now. But hey, that's how these companies work.
They were thinking they want to lock down their cards.
Well,
yeah.
See what happens when you try to put a leash on something good.
Yep. I mean, they've done it to EVGA for years, apparently. Only now they just finally had enough, and they're just like, screw you guys, we're out.
Like, I'm going to my mom's house, so you leave me alone.
Screw you guys, I'm going home.
I think we need to go on a break.
Good for them. I mean,
a break.
Trial separation.
We need to see other people. Like,
no.
We just need a little time apart.
Yeah, it's not me, it's you, kind of situation.
Basically.
Yeah, that's basically like it for what's going on. Is NVIDIA is being garbage, and EVGA won't stand for it. NVIDIA is being garbage in a lot of different ways right now.
Yeah, because I hardly ever hear anything about GeForce Now that much anymore. So I'm like,
so I mean, speaking, I know, like, did you cover the NVIDIA news as well, or we were just talking about EVGA?
I didn't, but so
continue, sir, please. I don't have anything to comment on.
Here we go.
This was your news show.
NVIDIA is doing some cheesy ass bullshit. All right,
lay it down.
Go on,
come on.
Like, so they have released. Well, they showed off the 4090, the 4080 16 gigabyte, the 4080 12 gigabyte, right? And so the problem is you think, okay, so imagine you're in a store, right? You're at Best Buy or whatever, for example, and you're like, okay, so you pick up the box for the 12 gig, and then you pick up the box for the 16, and you're like, wow, there's like a $300 difference here. I don't need 16 gigabytes of RAM. And so you get the 12 gig, because on the box, it doesn't have any tech specs. It doesn't, specify what's different really other than the RAM. But so in reality, you're actually losing a lot of processing power. There's a huge discrepancy. So on graphics cards, there's CUDA cores. And CUDA cores are like the basic, like rendering shit. And so you're losing, so what is it? It has like 9,000 CUDA cores or something like that on the 16. And then you only have like 7,000 plus your memory bus is equivalent to something that you'd see on like a 60 series card instead, like so like a 4060, so like much lower tier. So you're going to be limited on your memory bus, and you're going to be limited on your actual like graphics performance, because you're probably going to be like 20% less performance even. Like it's going to be crazy, and it's not right. Like they should have to actually put all specs on the box if they're going to try to do this sneaky kind of bullshit with the customers.
So to simplify what you're saying is, it's like
Yeah.
if you bought a $30 cocktail, but it's only this much liquid in it, but they make it seem like it's this much when they put a big ass thing of ice in it.
Kinda.
Yeah, I
But-
can see it. It's
but-
shrinkflation, baby. It's like what Doritos.
Mother.
It's like what Doritos like gives you less in the actual Dorito packages, but charges the same price.
But that
Yeah.
air, but that air
However-
is expensive.
however,
That air
here-
has Dorito
Here,
dust on it.
I'll do it. I'll do this. All right. So imagine you're buying the cocktail, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they have two cocktails.
Yeah.
and one says that it has like a little bit less alcohol in it, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, well, whatever. I don't need like all this alcohol, right? And so you buy the one with a little less alcohol in it. But they
Mhm.
also didn't tell you that one is only like 3/4 the size of the other one. In addition, right?
Some bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. But you notice there was like a price difference between them. You're like, oh, I mean, it's not that.
Oh, it's like when they did with
Whatever.
the Nintendo 3DSs, where they gave you no power card and they charge you less versus the other one.
Oh, you mean the
Kinda.
power? You said power cord?
You're
Like
literally
the,
just
the charge cable. So it's like,
It's literally
yeah,
just
yeah.
like
It's just a
false
charge cable.
advertising.
Yeah,
It's just
but
false
they-
advertising.
yeah.
It's
I'm like,
they're trying to sell it as the only difference between this graphics card and this graphics card is 4 gigabytes of RAM. When in reality, you're missing massive graphical performance if you buy the lower RAM card, and you are going to be like memory bus gated if you
See-
buy the lower card.
I don't see the tactic in that, because what's going to be when they come back to try to return it? Like, well, we can give you credit so you can get the better version, so they still make a profit. I don't see the tactic here with that, doing that.
The tactic is to just take advantage of people who are uninformed, because since the box don't have any like actual specifications, because all you'll see is the 4 gigabyte RAM difference. You're like, well, 4 gigabytes of RAM isn't worth $300. I can work with 12.
Yeah. Oh, I see
So
what you're saying.
they're
now.
just taking advantage of people that don't know any better.
Wow, that's a lawsuit waiting to happen when you think about it, because that's a consumer
Maybe.
marketing. No, it's not a maybe. You gotta put all the information.
They should at least have to have all the information, but right now
Yeah.
they don't.
That's what they
So-
have to do. That's what's going to cause a lawsuit. They have to put
Yeah.
all the information.
There was an excellent video by J2 Cents about the entire debacle, and I would recommend anyone who's like interested in the topic.
Oh, yeah,
to
I'm
watch
interested
that
now.
video. Yeah,
Yeah.
he
This
breaks
is-
it down.
Some BS though. They can't do that to people.
That's about it. It's just a load of bullshit and basically just blatantly lying to people. NVIDIA, you can't just take advantage of people that are uninformed like this.
All the classics.
However, this has created a fantastic launching point for the AMD cards, because they just can't fuck it up this hard, right?
Well-
Like, if they have a decent release, they already are set to succeed just because of how hard NVIDIA's just fucked themselves.
I love
Yeah.
how it's like it's always the company that thinks they're doing the best that manages to fuck it up as hard as possible.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
exactly.
Like the Xbox 360 into PS4 era, you know what I mean? Like Xbox is like,
Yeah.
we have a console for you. Like we're talking about the Xbox One, he's like, yo, we have a console for you that if you don't want to go online, it's called the 360. And
Yeah.
everyone's like, fine, I just won't buy the one.
Oh,
Yeah.
and something that came out recently,
Yeah.
just like a day ago or so,
Yeah.
is so we learned that there's cycles on the adapter to like plug into the card, because it has like an adapter and then it has like 4 prongs, so you have to like hook your power supply into that and all that.
Yeah.
Well, the issue is it only lasts for 30 plugins and plug outs, right?
Yep.
And also, they
Oh, that's
discourage you
right.
from bending the cable at all. So, like cable management, normal cable management. Sometimes I'll have my graphics card cable literally like going like this, right?
Yeah.
They discourage that. And then we found out why. Because some people on their test benches, or I mean, on like their test cables and stuff like that, the cables were literally melting. So these cables aren't the most like robust thing. And they found out that if your power supply is older, it won't have any way to like properly tell how much power to actually send, since it's just like one adapter into like 4 extra prongs. And so sometimes it might just give it literally just the full juice, melt the cables, and possibly just fuck up your card.
Jesus. Like I
So
said, a whole lawsuit
it's just
situation.
a bunch of failures in a row, and NVIDIA just doesn't seem to really care. They haven't made any statements or anything.
See, the thing is that nothing has impacted them yet, but I bet you in
Yeah.
a few months they're
Give
going
it
to start
time.
apologizing, giving out
In
statements.
November, we have the AMD presentation to see what they have to bring to the table. So, like I said before, they're literally just set up to succeed. Like, as long as their cards are a decent price, because NVIDIA is also gouging people on prices. The new generation's prices are basically scalper prices already, which is hilarious. They're like, oh, people will pay that much? Well, obviously, we need to charge that much. So the 30 series was like the last actual like customer-friendly pricing that we'll probably ever see from NVIDIA, which feels really bad. And I used to be like an NVIDIA fanboy, so that changed the last week.
Yeah, I didn't have an NVIDIA graphics card, but I did have NVIDIA products, and like the what was it? The streaming service thing component. I can't remember what it's called, but GeForce Now or something like that.
Yeah.
I had that.
But yeah, that's about it. I think we gotta wrap things up.
Yeah, honestly, it sounds a lot like Twitch right now. With all
Twitch is also on fire.
Yes,
Twitch,
it is.
With between the girl getting screwed on stream and like the whole gambling fiasco, and there's a girl who had sex on stream.
That's the tip of the iceberg, dude.
Yeah, and
there's also Mizkif who literally covered up.
That doesn't mean
assault.
That doesn't mean because it was a couple weeks ago doesn't mean that it's like not relevant.
I mean,
it's relevant. It's just all compounding together into like this fantastic shit show.
Let me finish my damn sentence. But like the girl getting screwed on stream, like the whole Mizkif thing, like being canceled, the whole like XQC gambling, like all of that. Like the girl who got screwed on stream only got suspended 7 days. 7 days. That's a lifetime ban, dude. That should be a lifetime ban. Like
they should, yeah. People have been lifetime banned for way less.
Way less.
Listen, she didn't know she wasn't supposed to take dick on stream. Where's that written?
That is true. It may not be in the rule book. That might have been a slight oversight on there for it.
Terms of service is actually in there. The TOS situation.
Yeah, but did she? But like, you could only see him through the window, to the wall.
I mean, come on.
Till the sweat drops down and fall. Like those are literally in the rules. But with that, contestants, where can people find you?
Streaming a lot of Tekken fighting game stuff and variety over at twitch.tv/quintessencehd. I tend to stream Tuesday through Friday.
Right. Yo, Kuma, where can people find you, man?
True. The name alone, you can find me everywhere. BeastGamerKuma.com is my main website. You can find all things news, previews, and right now we're doing a giveaway for God of War Ragnarok. So get on that. I stream Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays.
Awesome, man. We'll definitely have to have you come back on. I appreciate you coming on and talking with us about things.
Yeah, you've been great.
Thank you.
Yo, August, where can people find you?
Same back time, same back channel, right here on the Backlog Podcast.
All right, man. Yo,
nowhere else.
No,
Where
nowhere
else?
else. Oh,
Oh,
man, you didn't
no.
have to. You didn't have to. You didn't have to. Yeah, you can find the backlog. We're on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. We're on Twitch. We are on TikTok. You can find the Backlog podcast anywhere you get podcasts. So that's wherever, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We're literally everywhere right now. So yeah, go ahead, give us a follow if you enjoyed the podcast. Why not give us 5 stars if you can, and if you enjoyed the stream, why not give us a follow or even a Twitch Prime, like Lassie Boy. It really costs you nothing, and hey man, we definitely appreciate you. But with that, this has been the Backlog Podcast number 33. We'll see you soon, guys. Peace out.
Take care.
Bye.
Peace.